Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Courtney King, and today's short talk is going to be about using ChatGPT to make your life easier. So I've been on a little bit of a conquest in my own personal life. One, to learn how to use ChatGPT for my personal life. I'm pretty good at using it at work, but I wanted to find some ways that it could make my personal life easier, improve my productivity, and just take some things off my plate. And also, I've been on a conquest to implore other people to use the tool also. I think there's just a lot of time-saving benefits for regular folks just like you and me. I know maybe there's a misconception that ChatGPT is AI and it's something that like engineers and developers can use because they're really technical. No, it's not the case. It's something you can use right now for free. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you about 5 ways that are super easy that you can start to use ChatGPT, become more familiar with it, and some specific use cases for your personal life to make things a little bit easier. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is using ChatGPT to create a personal schedule for you. Now, we talk all the time about productivity on this channel and how to make your time work for you in ways that are a little bit better and ways that make you happier and healthier. And so I was thinking about this because I'm going through some pretty big life changes in my personal life, new job, new baby, a lot of different things going on at one time, and trying to figure out how do I fit all of this in and also not lose my sanity, right? How do I budget in time for exercise, budget in time for quality time with my wife, budget in time for all sorts of things, right? And so I was having trouble really conceptualizing how I was going to do this. And so I was like, let's see if ChatGPT can help me with this. So I did. All you need to do is you need to sign up for an account on ChatGPT. It takes 1 minute and it is free. You can also download the app. I use it on my phone all the time. And then you can ask it to create you a personal schedule. Let it know your parameters. So the more information you can give ChatGPT, the better results you will get. So let it know your parameters. I told it, my work schedule. I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. These are the days that I like to work out. I would like to have 15 minutes to stretch in the morning, whatever, right? Whatever's important to you, have it build in that time for yourself. And then I just let it rip and was able to see the schedule that it created for me. It did an extremely good job and it gave me a lot of flex time. That was what was really interesting, is it built in a lot of time that was flexible that I could use for one thing or the other, depending on what came up during the day. This can be super useful, as you know, because things come up randomly all of the time, or you change your mind on something on the fly. So built in a lot of flex time, did a really, really good job. One thing that I will say, make sure you tell it your sleep hours. If you don't necessarily tell it that you need to sleep, it may not budget that time in. And it might try to write you a schedule that's 24 hours long when you obviously need like 8 or 9 hours cut out for sleep. So make sure you put that in there. You be as descriptive as you can, and you'll be shocked. You'll look at it and be like, oh, yeah, I can fit all of this stuff into my day. I never would have figured that out on my own. That's a huge one. That's a really good one. Use it to create a personal schedule for yourself. Okay, so the second use case, use it to plan events and plan vacations for you. So one thing that the newest version of ChatGPT is able to do is it's able to search the web, just like you can do. So if you are going to be taking a vacation, let's say, and you want an itinerary, again, you go to ChatGPT, you put in the information that you have. We're going to be in Toronto from this date to this date. We get in at this time. We're staying at this hotel. Here's some of the things that we would like to do, right? Here's some parameters. We don't eat meat, or, we have little kids with us. So we want to make sure that we allot for that family time and nothing too strenuous for little kids. Whatever your parameters are, nothing is too weird or too much detail, or the information is never too niche. As much information as you can give the robot, you'll get much, much better results. So you can use it to plan vacations for you, and it will plan out, it will send you to specific places. It will send you to specific sightseeing. Now, you're going to have to check its work, right? Because at the end of the day, it is a robot. So it's possible that Maybe it plans you a vacation for Toronto, but it is sending you all across town in this really crazy way, right? The second thing you can do is you can take those results and say, hey, these are great, but we want to focus on spending time in these 3 neighborhoods. Can you run it again? Can you write this again? One of the great things about ChatGPT is you can ask it an infinite number of times for different results. If you don't want to ask it, there's a little regenerate button on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen when you're speaking to the robot. It's like a chatbot. And you can just have it regenerate the answers. If you're like, that's okay, but I want to see what else it can give me, have it regenerate them. And it's one of the things that I love about ChatGPT. You can ask it again and again for different results. You can take things out, put things in, ask it, well, rerun it, but with this in mind, or consider this. It's amazing. It's so much easier than trying to plan this out in your brain or plan this out with a person who would be annoyed after a while with all the changes and all the questions and all the regeneration of answers. So you don't have to just accept the first response that ChatGPT gives you. Always look to refine it. Always look to refine it. So yeah, use it to plan vacations. Also events. If you have a baby shower or a birthday or something like that you're in charge of planning, and you're trying to think like, how should the flow go? How should this thing be flowed? What things should I keep in mind? Maybe I have vendors who are going to be on site for this event that I need to coordinate. What are the logistics going to look like? You can run through all of this with ChatGPT. And even if you have a general question about the event, like, what sort of things should I be on the lookout for? Sort of unexpected things that could happen. Just if you want to check your own mental blind spots, it can do that for you. Really, really powerful. I definitely suggest it for this use case. Okay, so the next use case is ChatGPT can be used to help you repair or fix something. Or just install something. So let's say you bought a new appliance and you're trying to put it together, trying to figure out how it works, and you can't figure it out. Again, ChatGPT can search the web. So you can put in, hey, I just bought this appliance. Here's the brand name. Here's the model number. Can you explain to me how to set this thing up? Right? There is a prompt that is going to be really, really good for this that we're going to discuss in the next use case. But it's really good for taking lots of complicated information and giving you a summary that's really easy for you to understand. And so sometimes you don't even need that instruction manual. It might just be easier to ask ChatGPT how to tell you to put it together. Or if something in your house is broken and it needs to be repaired, same thing. Maybe you've got a slow drain and you need to figure out how to handle that. Maybe one of your pieces of electronics stopped working. Maybe you have a ceiling fan or something that's acting weird. The first thing you can do is you can ask ChatGPT to help you troubleshoot it. Maybe there's some common problems that customers, or I should say users of the ceiling fan, users of the appliance deal with. ChatGPT may know about those things and can tell you, hey, try this, hey, try that. It could be this. Sort of troubleshoot it for you before you have to try and dig through your junk drawer to try and find the install manual for this appliance that you probably don't have. For me, I'm not a very handy person at all. So any way that I can simplify a process like this, I'm stoked about it. So I found this one to be really, really useful. Another really good use case. Fixing something, repairing something, installing something, putting it together could be a really, really good way to use ChatGPT. Okay, so this next use case is more of a prompt. And this relates to the previous one. This is a prompt that I use all the time. And if I had to narrow down the most useful thing that I have been able to get out of ChatGPT in my personal life, it's probably this. You can use the prompt, explain it to me like I'm a child. I use this for all sorts of stuff. I use this for things, maybe I read about something in an article, I don't really understand it. I can tell ChatGPT, explain it to me like I'm a child. Better yet, I can input a link to the article that I just read and say, hey, summarize this article and explain it to me like I'm a child, right? If it's about science or it's about something that you don't quite totally understand. Super useful. Maybe you're at the doctor and the doctor was throwing around a bunch of terms you didn't understand. You can put them into ChatGPT. Explain this to me like I'm a child. It is so useful, so helpful. And once you do it a couple times, there will be moments that pop up all the time where you're like, I should ask ChatGPT about this. That's why it's useful to have the app on your phone so you can pull it out and ask it, right? And yeah, this one is useful for your personal life. It's extremely useful for your professional life at work, especially if you work with tech, especially if you work with engineering, especially if you work with medicine, even if you're a teacher in school, right? Concepts that you want to be able to teach properly to kids, have ChatGPT explain them to you like you're a child, and might help you always better understand. This always helps me to better understand a subject. There's never been a time where I was like, that didn't really help. It's awesome. Try this one out. Explain it to me like I'm a child. Use that prompt. Okay, the next use case is about writing you a shopping list. So I find grocery shopping and creating a shopping list for the week so annoying and so tedious. And ChatGPT is great for these kind of tasks. So what you can do if you meal prep, let's say, or you just have a basic idea of the meals that you're going to want to eat for the next week, you can put that into ChatGPT. You can use links. Like I said, if you've got links to recipes, and say, hey, make me a shopping list. And it'll do that, right? It'll put all of the ingredients that you need together. Then you can go to your pantry and you say, okay, I already have this, already have this, already have this. Check that off, check that off, check that off. Now you've got your shopping list of things that you actually need to buy at the store. You can put that back into ChatGPT and tell it to organize the items based on where they're located in a grocery store. So most grocery stores are laid out pretty similarly, right? There's a produce section, a bakery section, a dairy section, etc. Frozen food section. And I did this last week. It was a total game changer. If you order online, obviously that's way easier, and I would suggest that anyway, because ordering groceries online is just way easier than going to buy them in the store. But if you're going to buy them in the store, one of the most annoying things about that experience is having to walk back. You're like, oh, I thought I got everything in the produce section, but I forgot corn. Now I got to go all the way back to the other side of the store to grab corn. You waste so much time. Like, wait, where is that even located? Excuse me, can you tell me where the jalapenos are? Like, so annoying having to like think about where stuff is located and you forgot something. You're like, I was just on that aisle. Why didn't I buy that? That kind of thing is so annoying to me. It's like very tedious and you waste so much time walking around the grocery store. So I did this last week. I asked ChatGPT to organize my shopping list in this way, and it was a total game changer. So now if you're in the produce section, you know you got everything in the produce section. You walk over to the bakery, check, check, check. I got everything in the bakery. Everything went so much faster and smoother. And I would just say generally for these kind of tasks, this is the kind of stuff that ChatGPT is really good at and can take a lot of these tedious, monotonous tasks that we all have to do all the time that take up way more time and way more mental faculties than they should. You could take a lot of that off of your plate by learning to use ChatGPT. This is why I'm trying to get everybody on the bandwagon, especially if you are interested in productivity and interested in just making your own life easier. Right? If you can use technology to make your life easier and isn't harming anything, why not do it? I think some people, again, are like a little, they think maybe it's a little too over their heads or it's going to take a lot of time to learn to use. It's extremely simple. If you have ever used a chatbot, you can use ChatGPT. Like I said, it's free. You do not need to do any installation of any programs or anything like that. You can use it on your desktop. You can download the app on your phone. Think of it as like a digital assistant. That's what a lot of these AI tools amount to or are going to amount to in the future. I'm going to be talking a lot more about AI tools in the future. You can think of some of these as a digital assistant, essentially. And you can ask it things. If you're not sure what it can do, ask it. If you're like, oh, I wonder if ChatGPT, instead of wondering, literally just pull out your phone and ask it. And it'll tell you if it can do, there's some things that it can do and there's some things that it can't. There's some things that it can do okay, but not as good as a human. But a lot of this stuff, writing you a schedule, it can create a workout plan for you, teaching you how to fix stuff, helping you understand something, using the explain it to me like I'm a child prompt to help you understand something. Or if you literally have children and you need to figure out, how do I explain this kind of like complex topic to them? Ask ChatGPT. It'll do a pretty good job of showing you how to break down something that's a little touchy or complicated in a way that a child can understand. Hugely useful. Creating shopping lists, planning events, writing itineraries. It can help you to, if you have emails to write, content on social media to write. There's a lot more use cases for work that we're going to get into the next video. I want to talk to you about some use cases for work. I want to make these pretty simple, that anyone can apply to their jobs, not just someone in like some, highfalutin tech career or anything like that, that anybody can use at work, to make your life a lot easier. Jump on the bandwagon. I promise it'll save you time and it will help preserve your sanity, because things are only going to get busier. Okay, guys, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, I'll be back in just a few days with another video about ChatGPT, this time in a professional setting. So look out for that. Again, thanks for being here, guys, and I will see you in the next one.